morning, students. Today I am here with the second part of the chapter Manufacturing Industries. As in previous video, we discussed about manufacturing industries, their contribution to national economy and location of industry. As already we discussed, the industries are located near about the availability of raw material. So today we are going to discuss about the classification of industries. Industry can be classified in different ways. There are different types of industry such as which we use in our daily life: transistor, electric bulbs, vegetable oil, cement, glassware, petrol, match, scooter, automobile, medicines, and so on. So when we classify the various industries based on particular criteria, then we would be able to understand their manufacturing. Better industries may be classified as follows. First, that is on the basis of sources of raw material used. First, on the basis of sources of raw material used, agro-based industry means the industry those who are based on agriculture for their raw material, like cotton industry, woolen industry, jute, silk, textile, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee, edible oil. These are called agro-based industry. Agro-based industries are those industries who are totally based in agriculture for the supply of raw material. So the major agro-based industries are cotton industry, woolen, jute, silk, textile, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee, and edible oil. So these are called agro-based industry because these industries are totally based in agriculture for their raw material. Second classification, that is called the mineral-based industry. The industries those who are dependent upon minerals for their raw material, like the iron and steel industry, cement industry, aluminium machines, tools, and petrochemicals. These are called mineral-based industry. The another classification is on the base of their main role, basic or key industry, which supply their product or raw material to manufacturers other like iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting. According to their main role, basic or key industries, which supply their product or raw material to manufacturers other goods like iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting. Consumer industries, they produce goods for direct use by consumers. Consumer industries are those industries that produce goods for direct use for consumers like sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machine, fans, etc. So these are called consumer industry. The another classification is on the basis of capital investment. On the basis of capital investment, that is another classification of industry. A small scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. This limit has changed over a period of time. At present, the maximum investment allowed is rupees 1 crore. If investment is more than 1 crore on any industry, then it is known as a large scale industry. If in the industry investment is more than 1 crore, so that is called large scale industry, and the industry where less than 1 crore investment, that is called small scale industry. And the another classification, that is on the basis of ownership. Public sector means government sector. Public sector owned and operated by government agencies like BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, and Steel Authority of India Limited. These are public in the sector, means run by government. Private sector industry owned and operated by individual or a group of individuals. The another category, that is the private sector. These industries are owned and operated by individual or a group of individuals. Tisco, Bajaj, Auto Limited, Dower Industries, these are the example of private sector. Then comes joint sector industries. Joint sector industries means which are jointly run by the state and the individual or a group of individuals. Joint state industries are those industries which are jointly run by the state and the individual or a group of individuals. Oil India Limited, it's jointly owned and public and private sector. This is called joint sector, which are jointly run by the state and the individual. Then comes to the cooperative sector. As already I discussed you, our sugar industry, they are run by the cooperative sector because they are the seasonal in nature. Cooperative sector industries are owned and operated by the producer or the supplier of a raw material, workers or both. They pool in the resource and share the profit or loss proportionally, such as the sugar industry in Maharashtra, the coir industry in Kerala. So the cooperative sector industry is owned and operated by the producer or suppliers of raw materials, workers or both. They pool in the resource and share the profit or loss. So this is called cooperative sector. Based on the buck and weigh of raw material and finished goods, heavy industries such as iron and steel, they are considered the heavy industry. Light industries that use light raw material. Light industries are those industries which use raw material and produce light goods such as electrical industries. So this is the classification of industry. So now come the agro-based industry as cotton, jute, silk, woolen, textile, sugar and edible oil. These industries are based on agriculture. Textile industry. Textile industry occupy a unique position in Indian economy because it contributes significantly to industrial production, 14% employment generation. Textile industry in our country is generating 14% employment. This is a big achievement here. 14% employment in our country is being generated by textile industry. More than 35 million people are engaged in this sector. So after the agriculture, this is the second largest because 60% people are engaged in agriculture sector. Then 14% people are engaged in textile industry. And it is a good for foreign exchange earning. It contributes 4% towards GDP. The contribution of textile industry to our GDP is 4%. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain. So it is self-reliant. It is not dependent upon other, from raw material to the highest value-added products. So textile industry is the second largest industry to provide the employment because 14% people are engaged in industry, and its contribution to the GDP is 4%, and more than 35 million people are engaged in getting job in the textile industry, and this is the self-reliant industry. The another agro-based industry, that is the textile industry. In ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. After the 18th century, power looms came into use. So this is the oldest industry, cotton industry, cotton textile. In ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. So after 18th century, power loom came into use. Our traditional industry suffered a setback during the colonial period because they could not compete with the mill-made clothes for England. So this is our oldest industry, but unfortunately during the British period it could not progress. In the early years, the cotton textile industry were concentrated in cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Basically, the cotton industry introduced in India by the British government. In the early year, mostly the industries were established in the belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Availability of raw cotton market, transport, including accessible port facility, labor, moisture, climate, because facility were there, raw material was there, transport system was there, and international seafood were also there, and the climatic conditions were good. And this industry has close link with agriculture because from agriculture sector, cotton is supplied here and provide a living to farmer, cotton wool pluckers and workers. This is oldest industry of our country, but during the British period we could not compete with the Manchester क्योंकि अंग्रेजों ने फिर अपना कपड़ा इंडिया मार्केट में लाना स्टार्ट किया. So this industry declined during the British period. The technology which the British introduced, we could not compete with that. Even Mahatma Gandhi also lay emphasis on spinning yarn and weaving khadi. As you know, Gandhiji, he was a Greek social reformer, and under his leadership we achieved independence. So Gandhiji also given emphasis to khadi. Why? so that more and more people could get employment. एक आइडियोलॉजी ये थी कि गांधी जी को इसमें एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलेगा. टू रेज द फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, खादी से क्या आएगा कि फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म आएगा. टू प्रमोट कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री एंड इट विल प्रमोट टू कॉटन इंडस्ट्री एंड टू लेसन द डिपेंडेंस ऑन फॉरेन मेड क्लोथ एंड टू बाइकआउट फॉरेन मेड. और उसके अलावा एक गांधी जी का ये भी उद्देश्य था कि वी शुड बाइकआउट द कॉटन टेक्सटाइल. So we export a large number of yarn to Japan, USA, UK, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka and African countries. But जो हमारा टेक्सटाइल का इंटरनल प्रोडक्शन है, it has not very good quality. So there is need to improve our weaving sector instead of exporting yarn. We are exporting yarn, but we should improve our weaving sector. It will be more beneficial. But a large number of textile industry in our country, they are suffering with a number of problems like the power supply is erratic and machinery needs to be upgraded in the weaving and processing sector in particular. So number of problems this industry is facing. And secondly, our spinning mill are competitive at a global level and capable of using all the fibers we produce. तो आज की डेट में हमारी जो टेक्नोलॉजी है इट इज़ बीइंग डेवलप्ड एंड इन इंटरनेशनल मार्केट वी आर कॉम्पिटिंग, बट स्टिल देयर आर फ्यू प्रॉब्लम्स. Need to upgrade the techniques, and proper water supply is the main demand of this sector. Then comes the jute industry.